Hey guys, a very warm welcome in our lesson 6 on automation of Google business pages. Today's objective is to address requirements of a digital marketing associate for a company named as Christine Care. So what we are doing is we are going to automate Google business page using Google My Business API, and we are going to perform automation of posting social media and digital media content on your Google business pages using Python programming language. So let's get started. To do that, as soon as you want to automate Google business pages, the very first thing you need to do is you need to sign in with the account with which you manage your Google business page. Currently, I manage my Hackweather pages using my account vmdd.hackweather@gmail.com. So I need to log into my account initially so as to check back which Google business page we want to automate. So to do that, what we can do is you can quickly go to Google My Business in order to quickly check back whether you are logged in with the appropriate account and you have access to your Google business page account. So you have to go to google.com over Google My Business page. As soon as you reach out to that page, he will ask you to sign in into the account. So as soon as you reach to the website, simply click on sign in. Once you sign in, now you can see that I have got a couple of Google business pages here, and I am currently having 6 locations, out of which 3 locations are verified and working. So I have 3 offices. One office is at Hackweather Sector 18 Rohini. Second is at C25 Sector 8 Noida. And third one is at Hackweather Canada. So now what we have these 3 locations, and we want to automate our social media content on all these 3 business pages using the automation. Now, in order to do that, what next you need to do? Once you have got information about the account and what all business pages you now need to proceed to Google Business API. To do that, quickly go to google.com and open Google Business API. Once you reach out to Google Business API, it is available at developers.google.com. I would like to tell you, Google Business API is a private API. So it is not publicly available in console developers account on Google. You have to explicitly enable the API after a review process. To do that, we'll quickly go to Google Business API. As soon as you reach out to the page, you're going to get the Get Started section. Click on Get Started. And on the left-hand side under the menu section, you can quickly go to Get Started segment. Within this Get Started section, first you have the prerequisites which you need to fulfill in order to get started with automating your Google business pages using your social media content. To do that, initially you need to have a Google account. And as I have already told you, we are using vmdd.hackweather@gmail.com as our official Google account to manage our business pages. Post that, you're going to create a project in Google API console. So what you can do is you can quickly open console.developers.google.com and you can quickly create a project in Google API console. To do that, the URL is console.developers.google.com. We'll quickly go here, go to the console. The URL is console.developers.google.com. Once you reach out to this, you have to create a new project. Currently, in my account, I already have a couple of projects available known as API project, Diggity, Hackweather, and there are various other. So in order, if you don't have a currently existing project, you can quickly go to create project. You can define the name of the project. Let's say I've got the project name as my project 93707, and I've got to search the organization. Let's say if you don't have any organization, select simply no organization and click on create. So once you create, you're going to get a project ready. Now, once you have got your project ready, you are going to allow this project to use Google Business APIs. Okay. So you can quickly select your project and you can get started with the next stuff. So we have got the project ready. Now under the prerequisite, you need to determine your project ID. So for that, you need to look to the project ID column. And in order to do that, what you can quickly do is generally the project ID is referred on the project itself. So if you cannot select your project from here, you can quickly go back again to console.developers.google.com. And there you are going to get a list of all the projects available within your account. And currently the project which we are creating is my project 9307. So in order to do that, at the very top panel, you're going to get a list of all the projects. So I have selected my project 93707. Now within this project, you need to quickly get back the information about the account and various other information. The project ID, in fact, is the most important thing. So what you have to do is you have to go to Google Business page and you have to look for the project ID column in order to get the project ID. Okay. So currently we are under this project under dashboard. We don't have any information as of now. So what we can do is we can quickly go to the credential section. There you are going to get the project ID information. Now here. So once you have got here, you can quickly click on create credentials. You can quickly select OAuth client ID for quickly creating the credentials. Now you need to define what kind of application you want. So you can quickly configure the consent screen, the OAuth consent screen. And you can see that what kind of users you would like to access for. So let's say available to any user with a Google account, you're going to create the authentication stream. Then you need to define that application name. Let's say I already have an application name, which I'll be using during this demonstration. But let's say you can quickly create a test application. You can select an image as per your requirement, whatever kind of image you would like to use as an icon here. And post that, you need to define the support email ID. Once you have defined the support email ID, you can define the scope, as well as you need to define the domain name. You need to define the homepage link, the privacy policy link, and the application terms service link. Once you have got all this information ready, then you can proceed to the next stuff. Okay, so here we have the project ID. The project ID is 273208. That's the project ID which you will be using. Okay. Now, so let's quickly get back to the next step. Once you are here, once you've got the project ID, you can quickly go to access request form. Once you open access request form, this access request form will allow you to enable Google My Business APIs. So you have to quickly go to the next process. You have to define your project ID. You have to define the project number. Finally, you have to define your email ID with which your account is registered. You have to go to next, allows certain policies, define the information, and you have to submit this review application. This review application will take approximately 1 or 2 days to get approved. And as soon as you get the approval, you're going to get an information on your email. Once you have got this information on email for approving of your APIs, then what next you can do is you can quickly go to the basic setup section. To go to basic setup section, you're going to have a couple of information here. As soon as you reach out to this, first of all, you have to enable Google My Business API. So once you click on enable Google My Business API, it's going to go to the project and allow your business API. It's going to provide you which product you want to use. So first you need to select the project which you want to use. So if your project has that approval, your project name will be listed over here. So since I have not applied for the new project as of now, I'll be using my existing project for which I have allowed my Google My Business API. So name of my project is API project. So I've selected API project. I'll quickly go next. Now where are we're going to call this application from? So we are going to call it from a web server. You can quickly select a web server. And within the web server, you have to define an authentication callback, okay, where the redirection will be done once the authentication is done. So in order to do that, in order to have that authentication information, we need to specify this information here. So you can go to basic setup option, and within basic setup option, you're going to get a redirect URI where you want to redirect the users as soon as the authentication is done. So we are going to redirect the URL to developers.google.com on OAuth Playground, where we are going to receive the access token. Now, to do that, let's define that information. I'm going to redirect my, as soon as we get the authentication from the client, we are going to redirect the client access token to this URL, and we are going to retrieve the authentication token. Now let's quickly go and click on create. So once you click on create, you're going to get your Google My Business API enabled, and you're going to get the client ID and client secret. So somehow, let's say I've got this client ID and client secret. You can quickly click on done and you can proceed further. Now, once you guys are done with this, you can quickly reach out to basic setup section. And under basic setup section, there is an option, make a simple HTTP request to grab the authentication token. So we are going to perform this demonstration. So first of all, what you need to do is you need to get a client ID from your Google API console. So go to Google API console, which is available on console.developers.google.com. You need to select your project, whatever project you would like to use. So I would like to use my API project because that is the project which has Google My Business API reviewed. So you're going to select that. Now, out of this, first of all, in case if you don't have any credentials here, you have to quickly go and click on create credentials, which I've already told you how to do that. So here you have to go to Authentication Client ID, define from where you are going to access that. You have to define the name. You have to define, in case if you have any JavaScript origins or authorized you redirect URIs. So under the authorized redirect URIs, you have to define the URI which I just told you, that is developers.google.com/OAuth playground. So once you define that, you have to click on create and you're going to get your credential ready. So once you have got the credential ready, it is going to look somewhat like this. So I have a couple of credentials here and I'm going to show you one. So I have defined the name of the credential as web client 3 and I've only provided a redirection URI to developers.google.com/OAuth playground. Why we define that? Because once our client is going to approve that he's allowing Google My Business API to automate his business pages, then an access token will be returned. And that access token will be returned to OAuth Playground. We are going to receive that access token and we are going to use that access token with our custom code so that we can perform this automation process using that access token. So somehow here, once you reach out to this, on the right hand side, you're going to get your client IDs and client secret, which you are going to use in order to perform automation of Google My Business pages. Okay. So now, once you have got the authentication client ID as well as the application and the redirect URI is created, now we need to go to Authentication Playground. Here on Authentication Playground, we are going to perform the test. To perform the test, first of all, what you need to do is you need to quickly perform some configurations. One of the most important configuration which you guys need to do, as soon as you reach out to OAuth 2.0 Playground, this is a user interface which will allow you to provide your client ID and client secret and receive a access token. And using that access token, you can quickly send requests of identifying the locations, identifying the account information and posting on behalf of a Google business page. So in order to do that, you can quickly come to this gear icon. Under this gear icon, you can quickly see that you have got an option known as server side. Let the server side option be there. You can quickly select use your authentication credentials. Under authentication credentials, you have to paste your client ID. So when you go to console.developers.com and you open your credentials, you're going to get the client ID. You can paste your client ID here. Along with, you need to have the client secret also. Copy the client secret, go back to client secret section, paste that. And once you paste that information, you have to quickly click on close. Once you did this close, you can quickly see that we are going to include both authentication credential and token when we are going to send request to the link. Now, once you will be sending request to this link, you need to quickly verify the project ID to which the request will go. So I'll just quickly let you know, because sometimes people get confused on this interface and they are not able to extract the appropriate authentication token. So you need to be very careful about what kind of information you are specifying over here. So now, as soon as we are reaching to the end of this URL, I'm going to show you that under the authentication client ID, by default, my client ID has been specified over here, which I have taken from console.developers.com under my API project, and I have taken my web client 3 authentication URL, the authentication ID, client ID, and the authentication secret. So once I have got all of this information ready, now what we are going to do, we are going to send a request to business.manage section. So from the playground, you can quickly come to scope, paste your authentication business.manage page, press enter so that your authorize API button gets enabled. Now you have to click on authorize APIs and a consent form will open. Now within this consent form, you have to select the account, and whichever account you're going to allow the permission to, that account will be able to manage business pages. Okay. So let's say when I'm going to click on this account, an access token will be generated and will be returned back to the playground, so that I'm going to get the access token of my current ID, so that I can manage business pages maintained by this email ID. Okay. So I hope you guys understood. Let's say if you have an account known as Devanshu Shukla and you have certain business pages which are maintained by Devanshu Shukla's account, then if you get the access token of Devanshu Shukla's account, you can automatically manage those business pages without needing the ID and password of Devanshu Shukla's email account. Okay. So we'll quickly select Hack with the series, because this is the email ID with which all our Google business pages are maintained. So we are going to select that. Finally, we are going to click on allow. Once we allow, we are going to redirect back to our Authentication Playground. And as soon as we reach back to the Authentication Playground, you can see that we have received an authorization code, which has to be beared whenever we are going to perform an authorization request and sending any data back to the Google business page. Now we are going to exchange authorization code for a token so that we get an access token. So once we click over here, a request has gone to fetch the access token. And under step number 2, you can see that once we press this, we have got an access token here. Okay. So you can quickly select your access token, and using this access token, you will be able to perform requests to your Google business pages. Now we are in the third section. Once you have got this information, you can quickly go back to step number 3. Now you can test your request from here also. Otherwise, you will be able to send your request from your custom code. So we are going to identify the accounts which are associated to manage Google business pages using this email ID or using this access token. So under step number 9, you need to access this URL. Using this URL, what you will be able to fetch the accounts which can be managed with the access token which you have received. So we are going to define this information here under the HTTP method, and we are going to send a request. So once we send a request, a GET request has gone to the host My Business, and we have got an HTTP 200 OK response. Once you have got this OK response, now you can see that we have got a result in JSON format where we have got this information available. We have got the accounts information. The status of the account is not verified, unverified, but that's not an issue. We have got the profile photo URL in return. This account is a personal account, and name of the account information has been received. So under this property name, you're going to get the ID of the account. So you need this ID of this account to identify the locations. Okay. So under this accounts, if you want to send any query to these accounts, you have to specify the account ID. Now, I would like to take you to the references URL where you can see what kind of management you can do with Google Business API. So you can quickly go to google.com and search for Google Business API. Under my Google Business API, you can quickly go to reference. Under the references, you can quickly identify what all information can be done. So what you can do is you can create a post, you can delete notifications, you can get a list of information. So account administrators, you can create invitations, you can create, and you can manage the locations. Okay. So what we can do is we are going to get the location information out of here in order to perform various options. You can quickly manage the followers, you can manage the local posts and all of these things. So now let's say if you want to create a post, so we need to send a request to V4. We have to define the account, we have to define the account ID, we have to define the location, we have to define the location ID, and then we have to send a request to local post, and we have to provide the data so that the post can go. So now you can see that you have got the accounts and the account ID, but you need to check the locations which you want to manage. Okay. In order to get the locations you want to manage, you can quickly specify locations options here under the field. So the request will go to this endpoint locations, and you're going to get in return all the locations which can be managed by this account. So we have got a 200 OK response from this. Once we go here, you can see that now we have multiple locations available over here. So one location is hackveda.in. It is a training center known as Summer Training Hackveda. It may not be active working. It is the opening hours are being displayed over here. Then we have got a customer and business location. Then we have got another location name as summer internship. The third location name is at Canada, which is our Hackvilla Canada. That also we are going to get here. So the third location name is Hackvilla Canada. Then we are going to go for the fourth location. Then we have another location known as Hackveda, and this is available at H360 B7 Road, that is 110089. Along with a training center, it's a customer support. We have various products available over here, introduction to machine learning, and various other options are available on this. So what am I going to do? I'm going to access this location ID. Okay. So now what you need to do is you have got the location information here, and the location ID will be available to you at the very bottom. So let's just quickly check back the location ID. So here is the location ID for this business. So for this business, the location ID is under this account, you can access this locations under the locations property with the location ID 12114038. So you can quickly copy that location information. And once you have got the locations information, you can quickly send a request to local posts. So if we type here local posts and we send a request, you can quickly see local, maybe it could be local post. So we have to send a create request to this local post. Okay, so we'll just quickly check back. Okay, not an issue. So what we are going to do, you can remove location post, but what we need to grab is, we need to grab the location ID over which we would like to make a post. So we got this location 12114038. So similarly, you can extract multiple locations, whichever you want, where you want to post automatically from your code. Now, once you have got this information, let's get back to the code part. So in order to perform this automation programmatically using Python, I have used Jupyter Notebook. Under Jupyter Notebook, I have created a simple script where I have defined a function post on Google Business. Now, in this, I'm passing 4 parameters: title, company name, job file, which is the URL, and the image, which I want to display on the post. Now, I'm going to print a message posting on Google Business. Then I have created a custom message, which I want to show to the user. Okay. So for this demonstration, I'm going to change the message. So let's say the message is going to be, I'm going to define it as demonstration of Google Business Automation. I'm going to define the message somewhat like this. Then you have to define a variable known as header. Under this header, you have to provide the authorization URL. And under the authorization URL, along with bearer, you have to pass the authentication token. So from where we are going to get this authentication token? From your OAuth Playground. Under OAuth Playground, under step number 2, you can quickly get your access token from here. So you can copy your access token from here, copy, and you can quickly take here and paste your access tokens here. Once you have pasted your access token, you have to define the data which you want to post to the server. So there are various ways with which you can create a post. And for that, you can quickly come out to the reference section here. Under the reference, let me just quickly bring you here. Here under the references, we have Google My Business references. Yeah, you can come to this create post here. So once you come to local post creation, you can see that you need to create a parent information. And along with that, you're going to send a request to create the post. So what we'll do, we'll just quickly go to the guides here under the APIs section. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just quickly check back. Create posts. You can come to the how-to section. Under create posts, you're going to get what kind of post would you like to make. So you can create event posts, you can create call to action posts, you can create offer posts, you can edit the posts, and you can delete the posts. So these are some of the ways. So here, to maintain the local post, what you have to do, you have to send a request to accounts, account ID, location ID, followed by local posts. This has to be specified. And under this, you have to define various information like the language code, summary will be the message which you want to display. Then you have to define what should be the title of your Google Business page post, along with the event start time, event end time. It could be a photo. Then for now, what we will be doing, we will be doing call to action posts. So as soon as somebody will see our post, as soon as he clicks, he will reach out to our product page. Okay. So now to do that, we are going to create a local post along with the field call to action. So call to action are of various types. And you can quickly create an order post. Generally, for my business, I would like my customer to come to my main website page and see all the information and learn more about what program we are offering. So we generally specify action type as learn more here. Okay. There are a list of action types available over here. These are book, order, shop, learn more, sign up, and call. So you can define your specific action types. So you can define any action type here along with the URL where you want the user to get redirected to, along with the media format. It could be photo, it could be video, and you can define the source URL from where the image would be taken. Okay. So we have defined such information. Now let's quickly get back here. So I've defined this data, language US code, summary will be the message, call to action will be learn more. Then I have specified the URL, which will come along with the job file, along with the photograph and the image of the photograph, which I would like to show. And then I'm going to send a request, a post request using the requests library. Okay. So what you need to do in order to run this, you need to import requests. And once you have got import request, then you have to send a request to this URL. So I'm going to send my request to Google APIs V4 accounts to my account ID along with the location and the location ID and followed by the local post, which I want to make. So these are my accounts over which I post. So I generally post on these two accounts. As soon as I'm going to post on these accounts, I need to define the post data, which contains my media data and the message data, along with the authentication token, the header. So once we are going to execute request.post, we are going to get a response. And finally, we are going to maintain a query into the database that yes, we have got our post already done on Google business page so that we do not post duplicate content. Okay. So somehow like this, you can quickly perform that. So now what am I going to do? I'll go to OAuth Playground. I'm going to access my token. I'm going to copy my access token. I'm going to define my access token over here. So I'm just going to replace the access token so that I'll be able to post to my account. I'm going to use Control V to change the token. This is the current token which we have taken. And I'm going to initialize my function. So once I've initialized my function, I would like to perform a call on my Google business page using this method. So we already have a main function at the bottom, which automatically reads all of our products, generate a content and post it on Google business page. But here for demonstration test, I'll be directly calling this method so as to make you understand what kind of message will go here. Okay. So initially we need to have the title, and under the title, I'm going to define something like demonstration of Google automation, Google business page automation, along with the company information. Let's say I would like to say company will be Hackweather Limited. These messages are generally meant for my custom messages, which I give. But here I have already changed the message section, so we don't need to worry. We are going to get this message printed, demonstration of Google business automation. Followed by the job file is going to be the URL where I would like to redirect the user. So let's say I would like to redirect my user to my website, hackweather.co.in. And I have to show an image also. So in order to take up an image, let's quickly go to Hackweather. So I'll go to hackweather.co.in. I'll take a sample image from here. Let's say I have gone to get started segment over here. And I would like this image to be displayed. So I'm going to copy the image address and I'm going to paste my image address over here. So once I paste this image address, Control Command V, so I'll be using this image database.jpg. So let's run this. So once we run this, we need to import requests here so that Google My Business page works well. Let's go to import requests. Okay, and I'm going to initialize it again, or else what I can do, since I already have the piece of code written at the bottom, just give me a second. Okay, I'll just import my requests library here. Just before calling this method, import requests. So I'm going to run it. And now you can see that posting on Google Business has been done and we have got a response 400. So now we are going to check the Google responses, google.com, Google Business API responses. So you can quickly go to response codes. So in order to check, so 400 actually gives us a bad request somehow. Somehow a bad request has been made. Maybe I could have done something wrong here with respect to the message part or something. So I'm just going to quickly check back. My local posts are correct. I just need to grab my appropriate account ID. I'll just quickly check back from my Authentication 2.0. So when I reach here under my step 3, so this is my V4 accounts. This is my location information. Let me just quickly grab it. Command C. Okay, maybe response 400. Okay. So we have got this location as 12114038. So we have, okay, we are not using that somehow. Let's just quickly copy that, Command C and Command V, and I'm going to define one more location name here, Command C. Let's just change that to Command C, Command V, and I have got a few more location IDs. So let me just quickly check back these as well. So here I'm going to perform the location test here again once. So as to quickly check back my location IDs. I've got a bad request. So here the request is working fine. Command F, Command V. Okay, so here is Hackweda, New Delhi area, region H3/60. Okay, so I should send it to this one actually. So that's fine. But somehow we got a bad request. So the bad request could be of a format. Okay, that could be possible because the image size could be an issue. So in order to come up to sort the image size issue, what we are going to do, let us just take any big image from the database or somewhere. Let me just check what is the image size of this. Okay, let's go to Google Images, images.google.com. Somehow, sometimes you get a bad request due to the image size issues. So let's say I'm going to check an image somewhere from here. Okay, let's say I've got an image over here. Let's say I'm going to copy image address. I'm going to paste the image address here. Okay, no, sorry, that's not the image. Open link in new tab. Okay, I've got that image from here. Let's say copy image address. I'm going to check whether, okay, that's not a JPG file. Okay, just give me 1 minute. So I would be having a lot of photographs on my website though, hackweda.in/I. Okay, I'll do one thing. Just one thing I'll do. Okay, okay. With a file type JPG. Let's get a JPG image from Hackveda's website. Okay, so I've got this image actually. This is also fine. Okay, so that's fine. That's a PNG image, which I'm going to use, and it's a big image. Fine. So let's go here and provide the URL of this image. So you can quickly check back the Google standard of image. Again, I've got a bad request. Just I need to quickly check back what's the issue. Okay. We can do one thing. In fact, you can quickly check the text out of the response. Okay. So we can quickly check response.text in order to see that what error we are encountering. So somehow if you get a bad request or something like that, let's check out the result. So here it says, invalid JSON received, unknown name language code, cannot bind query parameter language code. Okay, that's the issue. Could not be found in the request message. Invalid argument. Okay. Okay, got it. Invalid JSON payload received, language, call to action, summary, and media. Okay, fine. So why is that happening? I'll just let you know. So this is happening because once you are sending the request here, the post data, it is not in JSON format. As I've already told you in the last session that you have to use JSON.dumps along with the dictionary data so that you're going to get the data sent in the appropriate JSON format. Okay, so we have used JSON dumps here under the request post, and I'm going to specify JSON.dumps. So once you use JSON.dumps, your post data dictionary is going to become the JSON data, and then it is going to be sent. So now you can quickly see that. In order to quickly check the response, what response is coming in, you can quickly take the response text and let's continue from here. So now I've got my cell running and I'm going to perform the post again. So I'm posting on Google Business page now. So this is how you can quickly debug in case if you get any issues. So now the post is successful. So posting on Google Business page, we have got a post sent. We have got demonstration of Google Business amount, automation, the state of this post is live, the updated time, create time, the URL image, and everything has been sent over here, and the topic is standard. So now the post has been done on our Google Business pages. Okay. So now how we are going to check back. So let's quickly go to google.com. Quickly search for HackWeather. Once we search for HackWeather, we can quickly go to the Google Business page section on the right hand side. So let's say, actually generally it appears, I'll just log in with another account so that it looks pretty good. You'll be able to see how the users are going to see the post. So if I search for HackWeather now, under HackWeather, you can see that I have got my Google Business page information. And when we go to the bottom here, you're going to see the posts live within a couple of seconds. Actually, it's getting loaded, I believe. Okay, so we have got HackWeather. Let me just, by the time, check on HackWeather Canada. Okay, so we have got certain posts here lately. Okay, we just got the latest post, I believe. Okay, what I'll do is I'll just quickly check back here. I'll go to the profile and check whether the latest post has been done or not. Well, actually, it should be done because, yeah, now it has been uploaded here. You can see that. So now under the post section, you're going to see that 2 minutes ago, we have got a post done, demonstration of Google Business Automation. And if we click on this post, you can see that you're going to get a post somewhat like this. HackWeather learning curves. This was the image which I have specified. Demonstration of Google Business Automation. And when I'm going to click on learn more, I will be redirected back to hackweather.co.in. So this is how you guys can quickly perform automation of Google Business pages using your programming language. Okay. So I hope this seems clear to you all now that how you can quickly automate Google Business Automation. And now you can see that the post is now appearing on all the channels. So I have got it checked with Chrome. 3 minutes ago, we have got that post done. So this is the way using which you can perform Google Business Automation. So to give you a quick crux back, you have to quickly create a Google account. You need to have a Google Business page. Then you need to enable Google My Business API by sending the review application. Within 1 or 2 days, your review application will be accepted. Once it is accepted, you can go to basic setup. You can enable Google Business API. You can create a project in console developers. You can get the client ID and client secret. Then you can go to Authentication Playground. You can define your client ID and client secret. You can send a request to business manage page. From there, you are going to get an authorization code. You are going to exchange the authorization code with the access token. Once you got the access token, you can quickly send a request to accounts so as to check your account ID. Once you have got the account ID, you can send again a request to locations. Once you send the request to locations, you're going to get a list of locations and their IDs. And once you got the IDs of the location, you can use those ID to make a request to local posts. Then you can go to Python programming. And once you go to Python program or whatever language you want to use, you just need to send a post request. In order to send a post request, what you guys need to do, you need to define your parameters, you need to define your message, you need to define the header, you need to define the data, and then you're going to send a JSON format using request.post method to your V4 library, to your accounts specified with the account ID, locations, location ID, followed by the local post. And all the data which you have to define should be available under your post data. And you can see different types of posts which you can make, like booking post, order post, and selling post, and calling post. You can maintain everything with Google Business Account. So I hope you guys have got a lot of understanding that how Google Business Automation is done. In the upcoming session, we will be bringing you Facebook automation as well, so that you can automate your posts on Facebook pages, along with how you can automatically create ads using Facebook Ads API, so that you can find out new customers automatically with the interest available with respect to your product. You can identify the broad audience. You can automatically make an ad, and that ad will be displayed to them. So being an owner or being running a small or a medium scale business, if you don't have effective digital marketing experts available, you can make use of the solution and make your life easy by performing all these automations. Thank you so much for watching.